My name is Luke Bloomfield. I'm a former intern of the Massachusetts Review. This poem is called The Farmhouse, and it's from this book, Russian Novels from Factory Hollow Press. The farmhouse is blocking traffic. Susan, the crooner of dogs, bursts into the print shop. I never see her so radiant. I photocopy a Polaroid of an ice cream cone. Photocopies cost 7 cents per page plus tax. The traffic lights are lying on their sides, exhausted from decades of sparring with cars. Officer Andrews parks his mountain bicycle in the intersection. He hops into a squad car and peeled off, still wearing his bike helmet. Mr. Peely, the math teacher, wears a helmet when he jogs. Helmet is a good name for a sturdy child. On the corner in front of the bank that didn't burn, people stand around in an expectant manner. There's Mark in front of his shop with his hand truck. Nat is in the basement with a box of pizza in his lap. The last time traffic was this backed up was when Bill crawled through the intersection like he was looking for a contact lens, but he was just crawling. The farmhouse turns the corner onto Main Street. Ron, with his camera and tripod, runs after it. This takes him back to Libya. He remembers how exciting it was, the roto-wash and smoke. The side door of the farmhouse swings ajar. A Civil War soldier walks onto the porch. People take pictures with their cell phones. Isn't it sad that after 150 years they're moving his house? The soldier looks onto the crowd of onlookers, smiles some sort of melancholy, scans the faces and doesn't recognize anyone. He nods anyway, as though approving an inevitability, and goes back inside. Breakfast is on the table. It's that old kind of cold that everyone feels at some point or another in New England. And it's called Epistemology. Silent and immobile, divided and coalescing, spacious and obfuscated, bridged and traversed, praised and inverted, sensitive above all, likably guttural, hailed as a major figure in the Scandinavian theater, versed in fieldwork, mute about cosmology, dangerous with metaphor, elegiac in the end, permeated by animals, sensible to a fault, drunk by definition, duplicative in appearance, immune to advancements, of two minds about the last century, contextually voluminous, ensconced in serials, bestowed with community, rebelled against in a small Eastern European village, tortured by hyphenation, built on the mark, chartered by fishermen, met with ceremony, individuated and dissimilar, sick and nearly expired. What we were in relation to dairy, a wake of cows. We took off through the North Country. We were chest deep in nightingales. Our fingers crept around back blindly. There was a yellow opening in the far off, a bloodshot clutter of speech. We formated along natural fissures. We pulled fish apart. Our hair grew fast and long, in the periscope a Kodiak pod a mudcliff. The Cherokee broke down, and then it was 4, karaoke time. We were indoors. We burst our bottles on a wooden lip. A flight of prescience we grouped around. Our hearts were open to strangers, and we had the bodies of little dogs. We lit a fire in the IT office. Hot plastic keys glowed against the night. Watch me multiply. You asked me to run treacherously through the dark. I called you treacherous, and you cried for the first time, sending me into a tailspin 32 miles above Earth. When you cried, it was lonely like supper in winter, like pop music in nature. There are shards of someone's cane poking up like tulips, the day like 3,000 miles off. I need to hear the stories of my friends and enemies to remember my own. Your fire story reminds me of my only motorboat ride of which I was in command. At what point do I start conflating people and dividing them into different people? Just kidding. I've been doing that all along. And the last poem. That's not it. That's not it either. The last poem is called The Act of Erasing Oneself in a Distance. I could sit here all afternoon posturing to understand something important while this beetle bounces futilely against the window, directing its effort toward an unreachable goal. I'm hoping that if I do this one thing long enough, that is, if I keep my head like this, resting on this cool, stainless steel surface, a difference will emerge without any effort on my behalf. That a change will occur, and I can escape the sameness that is this day, that is the way I feel every day, around this time, in this unchanging moment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody.